Hey folks, welcome to Tuesday the 25th, sorry, the 5th of April 2022. Sorry, not much sleep last night, but yeah, so what we had yesterday was a pretty good performance by equities, tech outperformance, Mr. Musk taking just shy of 10% holding in Twitter, enough to send Twitter into the stratosphere, up 25% yesterday and held quite well. Um, that was a real feather for the NASDAQ to print higher, and equities generally staying sustained. The SPOO's putting on some decent gains. And the Dow probably, which is the market I was trading. Really nice action on the Dow, selling down early in the session, then bought back up to print new highs into the close. Oil also extremely resilient, I have to say. In the face of got 180 million barrels coming down the line over the next 6 months from the SPR in the US. That's being matched with an unconfirmed amount of barrels from the IEA, but it should be bringing the total release up to essentially 1.5 million barrels a day equivalent for the next 6 months. We were due to hear from the IEA last night around 6 o'clock, but we didn't. So I think the market is really waiting for that at the moment. A little bit of a gap up on the overnight changeover on the Globex session. But let's get over here and have a look at the charts. So you can see, really oil's been doing quite well. I mean, in the face of the largest release in history, oil just stayed bid, really stayed bid. A bit of a pullback yesterday, testing on trend. Very clean action here, and 102.18's definitely not going to be the ceiling for that bounce. And so you see here, just in yellow, that outstanding gap. We have pulled back to that gap. We should be looking to close this gap, get some business done there, and we may push on higher. Now, the bids that have come in here don't really make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I'm still trying to digest why we're holding on these highs in the face of such a release. Um, I mean, I think a little bit of trending going on here, sort of a little bit of this going on right now. You can see um from these two upper points, but does this mean now we're just gonna be able to sell down? I have a sneaky suspicion that we're gonna have to test into some of these lows at some point if we want to be getting higher prices. And so, if we look back to November, which I have done on US videos over the last week or two, you do want to be paying attention to what happened in November. 60 million release November 25th here, and we were down a good old $10 on that move, all told. So 180 million barrels release. Well, for me, I think generally the 104.69s is going to be that line in the sand sort of price for this market. I think, yeah, if we're going to sell down, it's going to be from here. If we're going to resolve the downward trend, that we're currently going through, a bit of a pullback from the highs of the year, it's going to resolve itself around 104.69s, find a base here, and then push higher. But at the moment, we firmly have this invasion high, the high of the day on oil when we invaded 99.09. Interestingly enough, the Brent WTI spread has inverted. So normally you're looking at a $10 premium there, from to Brent, from WTI. So Brent $10 on average more expensive. You're seeing that is inverting now, which is not really talked about, but there's a lot more risk on the Brent contracts than there are in the WTI contracts. So that's probably to blame. I did talk about an inversion on that spread that was possible to come in at the start of 2020 because of the INMO shipping regulations, but we're not going to nerd it up on that one just right now. So anyway, look, how do we make money on oil today, Tim? I think by sitting on your hands, that's how you're going to not lose money. Look, 102.18, should we test again? on the downside, I don't think I'm interested in buying. And 104.69s, if we see good resistance come in, we have here actually so far. If we hold this resistance, yeah, I like the shorts and carry that down. I have been playing at these kind of upper register prices for the short side really well. The last one, major one was actually was down in here. But I like the selling conditions up around here. I really do. I just don't get how we can rally in into 115 in the face of what we have fundamentally here coming at us. All right, so let's get rid of the DAX. Looking across these U.S. equities, superb action on the Nasdaq yesterday. I wasn't trading it, but really we came in by 8 bells. 14,852's half was generally support in this area, and we traded pretty much parabolic moves straight across. All good. We've held through the closing session. APAC has held above the 200 EMA and the 100 EMA in confluence here now. We haven't yet technically had the crossover. Now, I just want to make sure that we're not pulling these in from weekly bars. No, we're not. So you're seeing here the 100 sitting right above the 200 moving average. I'll tell you that here. So you're getting that convergence that I was talking about. A cross down here is definitely not going to be what the tech bulls are going to want, because that is generally going to drag. Anytime we try and pop to the upside, generally going to have that market drag down to in and around these current prices right now. So just keep that in mind as we trade across the next couple of weeks, actually. So, booze, looking over here on the daily, well, we're kind of doing a decent job, I have to say, of we've had the pullback there last week, and now we just seem to be moving back up. Monday, big bid up. uh Tuesday, I think we can manage to tack on some higher pricing here. A little bit of trend to be aware of here, just a little bit of this trend to be aware of as we push to the upside, coming in just below R2 there, but really shouldn't be a problem. 46.23s on the upside is a target. It's kind of this shelf top area here from, oh, what's that? That was Tuesday last week, the 29th of March, in and around there. So just, I'll make that one gray, blue, daily. But yeah, I think we can generally, once we can hold here 45.77 half, I think we're fine. Let's cruise on to the 46.96, and stay with the bull thesis here. I just don't see the recession coming right this minute. You can talk all you want about, the bond yield inversion, you know, not not my bag, not my bag. I don't really care. The lead lag statistics are, it can be up to a 2-year leading indicator. So listen, you can do a lot in 2 years other than worry about the inversion on the yield curve on the 210s. So look, here we are on the Dow on the weekly. Yeah, we have a doji last week, but where are the sellers? Where are the sellers? Really nice action for me on the Dow and one or two of the other traders in the room yesterday. Just the market was really in this area. Here was the open here. Just in this area, it was really not able to do anything. You could see from 7 a.m. Just not able to hold above 34,793s. Just clean resistance there. Down we come, and then we're hovering around here. Come the open on the US. It was really compromised. Nice shorts to be had, and then looking at the 20 EMA, well, we got on the turn here and held that up into the close. So really nice trading. Technically, actually, I just held this for the first pop above the 34,793s, and just had to go and enjoy my evening. And sure enough, we got a further pop uh, into the close. Held APAC. Another pop up this morning. Very much unsustained pop here. People saying it's about Zelensky wanting another meeting with, or well, wanting a first meeting with the Russians. Um, we've heard this already. This is not new news. This is quite old. It's just a reiteration of things that we heard last week and the week before. So, deservedly unsustained move on the upside. However, across the equities picture, not only the Dow, however, we are breaking out of the range, right? We have this range here. We're breaking out. Okay, so do you want to be shorting this thing come the open down into here? I wouldn't recommend it, but this is not trading advice or investment advice. Take your own trades. I'm not pressing your buttons for you. So once we can hold here on the 34,793s, I think it's easy peasy. 35,199 is next stop up for the resistance that you can see just came in so well here. That's an area that goes quite way, quite far back here. But lines in the sand, really key to trade well against them. So, what else do we see? Yeah, little bit of a risk on situation here this morning. I saw gold down, bonds down, equities up. So I think that can continue throughout the rest of the session. The market has done such a good job to just come out of the lows of around the invasion time. Probably gonna have to start now, but a lot of levels we're tracking. Nat gas back inside of this area here. Actually show you this on the daily. Where we going? Where? Here we are on the daily. So this is the high, right? The high of the week of the 13th of September to the high of the 4th of October 2021. Okay, that's what your zone here is, right? We're back inside this zone. Now, I talked about this before. Every time we're back, every time we're in this zone, we push quite far into it, right? On all these occasions, a lot of excess up in here, right? See that? So, that leads me to believe that the kind of runway is a little bit clear for us to then just auction all the way up 6 spot 483s on the top. Don't think I'm ready to talk about 6 spot 789s and the $7 handle up here. But look, I think generally the way energy is going worldwide right now, people are going to want to be booking their contracts on nat gas in the front rather than the back, and the front 12 months, to be honest. So we're in the front 1 month here. So um yeah, that's just my hypotheses for nat gas. I really like the longs. If you don't want to take your exposure on the futures, you could go to gas based ETFs. I wouldn't recommend going to the coal ETF. It's not something I looked at it, and it's not the makeup of it is not really something that I like. There are a couple of others, and if you're interested, we can chat about it in the Discord at a later point. But actually, I've talked about it before once or twice. Anyway, dollar as well has been trying to move on back into this area. Couple of longs to be had on the euro on this excess into this area yesterday. But really, it's not looking so rosy now for the euro. But back here. All right. So, I think we're going to auction back up here and take another shot at the 99 spot 38. Is this going to be the push above? Look, who knows? Who knows? I think, yeah, I think even if you have a central banker telling you what's going to happen there, I think they're just gambling. So, yeah, that's about it across the board. Yeah, all right, brilliant. So gonna leave it there for another pre-US session. If I could just find my mouse. Back to here. Yeah, so have a good session, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow. Please do hit the like and subscribe. Yeah.